Hello, buddy. Welcome to Cow Daily. First one of the week, Monday. Just turn my headphones up there. We're back. If you can let me know that you're here in the comments, because there's a lag on the stream as ever, that would be absolutely appreciated. Today, would plan to talk about Starmer, do the news roundup and all that. And as I was working on this, obviously we're going to talk about long COVID as well. I fast realised that I haven't actually spoken about this from a personal perspective, like in detailed things, but also from the societal perspective within that. Now, we're a little bit late starting today because I had to pull myself together. When I was working on this morning, it like really sort of triggered off how I feel around the trauma around the long-term illness that I went through. And I figured I had to actually to like get it out of my system and talk about it. I mean, I put a thread out this morning, which we'll be tapping into in a bit. And it also made us realize that I'm not alone. So I need to speak about it. And it's going to be hard, like, because it is hard. It was fucking shit, to say the least. And I thought I was going to die at least a couple of times. And I mean, for me, the longer term thing of that was I'd been recovering from a spinal surgery too. So it was double shit. And obviously, as everybody was, we were going through lockdowns, the pandemic, which anybody who's paying attention knows still going strong. So I'm doing this show today for myself. I quite often do, as I'm told anyway, a lot for other people. So, I mean, it's not just for myself. I mean, I want to sort of get this conversation going and like, it's got to be done. Like, there's so much like bullshit flying around about this type of stuff that it needs doing. So I'm going to try. And I hopefully, if I do start crying, I'll save it for when I play the videos. Nah, fuck it, man. Like, Jesus, if I do, I'll just cry because some of the shit that I went through, and also I know yous went through, fucking demands it really. A few comments in, see who's in. Big Bob Grady's in, South Wales. Hello, Bob, or Robert, whichever you prefer. We also have Ali Keefe in the room. I don't see you. You're hiding behind me speakers, Ali. B62 Boom One. Hello from a very wet Wales. The Wales crew in full effect. Shelley Kelly and Jacqueline Hemmons are into. Hello. Let us know if you're in as well. I know there's a lot more in. Let me know. Right. Before we do, though, please sign up to the Cow Daily mailing list. The link is in the description. That would be great. Also, if you're watching this anywhere other than YouTube, please do watch it on YouTube as we're trying to get the channel monetized. We passed through the halfway point yesterday of 2,000 watch hours, just the 2,000 to go. So if you could watch it there and tell your friends to tell a friend, that would be really, really appreciated. Also, if you want to directly support the work, go to patreon.com/cowdaily. That's patreon.com/cowdaily. Or if you would like to make a one-off donation to our work, PayPal link in the description. Cheers, chaps. And we'll get right amongst it. Other people in. Sarah Orgill's in. Hello from Nottinghamshire. Edwina's here. Also a fellow long COVID person. Be really interested to hear your thoughts on this for sure. Mia Mantry's in. Hello, mate. Jacqueline is saying hello to me. Hello, everybody. Right. In the time-honored YouTube tradition, let's get into it, guys, and talk about one of the darkest things that's ever happened, to me at least. So anyway, long COVID, what is it? Right, so this is from the NHS, them very selves. What is long COVID? Most people with coronavirus feel better within a few days or weeks of their first symptoms and make a full recovery within 12 weeks. For some people, symptoms can last longer. This is called long COVID or post-COVID-19 syndrome. Long COVID is a new condition which is still being studied. Tell us about it. I know. So some of the symptoms. After the sort of physical aspects, which I'll talk about a bit later, and also strap yourself in because I'm showing you some photographs of what I looked like at the time. And I know I didn't even want to show these, but I need people to see the reality. I know from talking to a lot of people privately as well as like in the public forums and that, you went through it too, and I looked a fucking mess, like. So anyway, these neurological symptoms, difficulty thinking or concentrating, sometimes referred to as brain fog, hugely, massively. That absolutely happened and still happens to this day. It's not as bad as it was, but I'm not 100% yet, and I hope I can get back there. Headaches, still get them, got them horrendously at the time. Sleep problems, it's not so much now. I get it like some nights, but I'm sleeping decently for 5 out of 7 nights, and what I classify that as is 6 hours or more, which isn't enough, but it's enough to function. Some nights I'll get 7, and I feel like great for a few hours after it, but I have to rest a lot. And for somebody who did ultra marathons and that, it's kind of hard. I've always been quite a driven person, and I suppose I'm just driven in other ways now. Like for example, like when I started researching all this morning, and I just figured out that it like obviously was upsetting us like physically as well as mentally. And I've like for something else that I do, there's an AGM tonight, and I've had to put my apologies in. I can't like go back to what I used to do, which was just exhaust myself. And sometimes I'm having to make really tough decisions about what I can actually do in a day. And that's sometimes on the day, because none of this like follows any kind of pattern like you would expect with illnesses, right? It goes like up and down. Like I mean, when I was really, really, really ill, like there was no, there's no energy at all. But like now, it's like up and down like a roller coaster, man. Um, More ups than downs now, which shows progress. But recovery is not a straight line. It doesn't go like that with this. It's up and down, and some days you can just flump through the floor and just can't do a thing. And I hate it. I hate it. I mean, before this, I had a spinal op in 2017, and that wrecked us, man. That like I think that's what like lowered my immune system. Well, just weakened us completely. To be honest, it wasn't just the physical aspect; that was the mental aspect. And I mean, I basically couldn't move around properly for about a year, something like that. And obviously that went on, started getting better, and was getting better. And this was over a period of years, and then just ran into what I'm talking about today, which is like ultra shit, really shit, shitter than shit, closer than you ever can imagine. Got to shout out Rosie Gaines whenever you repeat things; it's the law. So more of these symptoms, shall we? What else we got? Sleep problems, covered it. Dizziness when you stand up. That's kind of gone now. I got it like the other day, but I swear to you, at the time, that was the scariest stuff ever. It was like my heart rate would just spike out, and it was like a panic attack. I had a panic attack, right? I never had one before, but it was after my operation, like a week after it. And what had happened was I'd had to cancel this like castle party that I'd booked to promote on the 2017 New Year. And it had sold out, but I just couldn't run it. Had the operation in the October, and I was told I'd be fine for it, and there was complications, and it was worse than I thought when I went in. So I ended up having to pull it at the earliest opportunities I could. But because of all of the how I was feeling at the time, I didn't realize the money for it was in another account, and I saw it, and I had just this big like I thought, oh, it was horrible. Panic attack. Shouts to anybody who's ever had a panic attack, man. That wasn't the only one I've ever had though. Like since then, like during the sort of, let's call it the long COVID era, I've had several, and a lot of it's linked to money. And I'm going to talk about like what that actually means like later on, because of what it means on a societal level. Jesus, man, societal level, level on a level. Pins and needles feelings, aye, but that's nothing new. Changes in smell or taste. I never actually got that. Like, a lot of people report that, but like that didn't happen to me. Depression or anxiety, aye, but I was no stranger to that anyway. Like certainly post-op anyway. Yeah, it all kind of intertwined, like overlapping personal crises. See, I can't even do that. So anyway, physiological changes in skin and hair, including hair loss. To be fair, that was already happening anyway, so we'll not take that one. Nausea and vomiting, massively. I was spewing up blood and stuff at times as well. High temperature, completely. Yeah, bowel incontinence, shit myself a few times. Horrible to talk about, but that happened. Erectile dysfunction during the shingles era. Couldn't get a hard on. Not even sorry, it happened. Fine now, but at the time, you can imagine I was like, what? But it's had an impact on us, if I'm honest. Like, all of this stuff wrecks your confidence. It wrecks you entirely, like, from the inside out. And you know what? Fuck all this, like, masculine, like, couldn't get me, get it up. I couldn't. But to be fair, I didn't have the energy to do anything with it anyway. So, you'd rather have it now, wouldn't you? Limb swelling, aye, massively. Amnesia, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know if that's different from brain fog or how they constitute this, but yeah, completely, man. Like, there's whole like times of my life where people tell us things and I can't remember it, and that's bloody scary. Like, that's blackouts and shit. Hallucinations, yeah. 3 weeks into shingles, they started, and it was started off like dark shapes at the end of the bed, like night terrors and stuff. I think it was like the lack of sleep, because as you'll find out in a minute, I'm going to show you what my side looked like. You try sleeping when you're in that much pain, like, it's not going to happen for you. Difficulty with motor function or speech. Yeah, I couldn't speak like properly. I would speak as if I'd been concussed. I've been concussed before. I've been concussed through fights, but I've also been concussed through crashing my Vespa, and I was concussed in a bike event as well, where I stacked it head first at 42 miles an hour downhill. That was shit. I finished like my mate who picked us up at the end thought I was finished. I think I was in a right state, and I ended up screaming at one of my pals who was waiting for us for no reason, and I apologized at the time. I apologize again. It felt like that, just completely erratic as hell. Like, and I couldn't like. I mean, you can say I'm still a little bit, but it's I have to catch me threads. So sometimes, like, you'll find us do that. And like when I think that happens anyway when you get a bit older, but not to the extent. I mean, anybody who's known us a long time known I've always been very sharp, very quick, and my brain's not that as quick as that anymore. But it's improving though. It's getting better. It's just you don't trust your body anymore, like you don't. Right. Is it normal to have palpitations or changes to your heart rate after COVID? These are from the British Heart Foundation, by the way. A couple of times I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Like, I don't get it now, but I've took some really drastic steps in terms of my health. So what it says here is some people are experiencing heart palpitations or changes to their heart rate as a symptom of long COVID. According to an analysis of several studies involving 48,000 people with long COVID, more than 1 in 10 of them, 11%, experience heart palpitations. This can feel like your heart is racing, pounding, fluttering, or may feel this in the chest, neck, or throat. Yeah, all that happened. It was fucking scary as hell, and I thought I was dying. Lush, great, a great time. Now, this is a clip I'm about to play you, okay? And I'd hoped I'd get through this bit without crying, but I put it in there for the information, but also to give us a little break from this, because this is important. So this is Dr. Ray Duncan, and she's going to give you a bit more information about long COVID and the impacts that it's having on people.
Disruption of the capillary integrity, and you get leakage of the inflammatory molecules into the other organs, and you get organ damage. For example, there's lots of evidence now showing neuroinflammatory damage in the brains of individuals with long COVID, in the hearts of individuals with long COVID. But in addition to this, you've got all these prothrombotic tendencies where you end up with things like heart attacks and strokes and various other issues. Now, when it comes to the long COVID, this is one of the things that we're not talking about. So although the death rates are going down, the disability rates are going up. We have 148 million people with this condition now. I spoke to this gentleman on the phone today. He had clearly seen multiple different doctors. He clearly had undiagnosed postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome that has been completely missed. And he's very disabled as a result of it. And when I sat him down and we talked him through and we did the test that a lot of other medics are not doing because they're maybe not specialists in this area, he cried. I have had a 30-year-old man sobbing his heart out to me on the phone. And sorry, I'm actually getting quite emotional about it because this is happening all the time.
Yeah.
And some of it is treatable if we can just get a better campaign of education, which is what we're trying to do through the World Health Network, to train other doctors so that we can get it accepted that there are tests that you can do that can diagnose some of these abnormalities. And there are treatments we already have. There's lots of treatments we're still testing, but there are treatments we already have that can help reduce the level of disability. And this is the message we need to get out. But the other message we need to get out is that there's very clear evidence from the published literature that reinfection increases your risk of long COVID substantially. So we have to have some sensible public health mitigations, because I have seen the inner lining of people's blood vessels. I've seen the torn endothelium. That's after 1 and 2 infections. I have no idea what their blood's going to look like after 10.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm back. Right, so that was Dr. Ray Duncan there, bit of information. I mean, this is worrying stuff, obviously, and as I'll show later on, it's potentially something that society is storing up for the next 5 to 10 years, which is unsurprising that politicians would kick things down the road because they're just there to get elected, or really, aren't they? And who wants to talk about this stuff? This stuff, whenever I bring it up on online, this stuff. How many fucking ghouls hop on this? And how disciplined do you think I've had to be not to lose my fucking shit? And the reason I don't lose my shit is because Facebook is a fucking joke. Like, if you've got any kind of like large sort of reach or whatever like that, right? You get hammered if you give people shit back. They could be calling you worse than shit. There you go, I've said it. But guess what? And I'm going to say this. There's some people who are from where I'm from. Newcastle's a big village. Aye. So anyway, let's see what they're saying in the comments. So Sarah's saying, Sarah O'Gill, this is me. My symptoms were dismissed for so many years, now needing a wheelchair because of how bad it's gotten. Man, I'm so sorry. Sarah, I don't know what to say to you, and I'm sorry that you've not been believed. And I get that, and I understand that. And I think a lot of people subscribe to this just world theory. Like Alice Wolf's really good on this stuff. She knows all about just world theory. But if you'll bear with us while I butcher it, just world theory for people is the psychological belief that like only things can happen to other people, and only things happen to other people if they've done something bad. It's when things are out of control that they get out of control quite mentally and start doing the denialism thing. We're seeing it with long COVID. We're seeing it with climate change. We're seeing it with absolutely anything that appears to bring discomfort, because from the pandemic, which is still ongoing, we also have an epidemic of denialism. And I wanted to get up here today when I was doing the research for a wider show and just focus on this, and also from a personal perspective, because this is fucking, well, has ruined my life too. And I think I'm lucky that I'm coming out the other side. And Sarah, look, if you need anything, just inbox us, and if it's in my power, I'll help you, man. We've got to help each other, everybody. We really fucking do. God, there's a video coming up soon. I'm going to cry. I'm trying not to now. Maybe I should. I don't know. Fucking hard as a man. Like, I just didn't want to go on camera and cry. And that's what stops people talking about this, especially us men. It's this like weird sort of like Nietzschean Superman thing that like some men subscribe to, and like generally far right ghouls like amplify up, like, oh, I can't get ill, and you only get ill if you're weak. Jesus Christ, mate, shut the fuck up. Anyway, what else we got from you good people? Edwina is saying, isn't it just on the RVIs where I went, they were good and found quite a few issues that were still with me 18 months later. God, man, I'm so sorry you've gone through that. Mad, this actually, Carlos is saying, bloody hell, the denial is an epidemic in itself. I've seen, read and heard so many head first down the rabbit holes. I hadn't actually seen your comment before I said that, but we're quite often great minds think alike, Carlos? Mia is saying, and exactly what you mean, I was regularly victim blamed with people telling me I wouldn't have had mental health issues if I didn't let myself be affected by bullies. I can relate to that too, Mia. And what I found was strangely that like it brought the bully out in people, certainly after the operation I had, but like during the times where I was weak, the amount of times like when I was vulnerable and ill, that people saw it and wanted to have a go at us, who ordinarily wouldn't have said boo to a goose before, is startling. Did you think I was going to die? And is that really evil? Because it is to me. So anyway, I'll be dealing with that on another day, not online. So anyway, what else we got? Let's see. Zoe's saying, Zoe, StreamYard's trying to censor you. Come on, there we go. Zoe's saying it's a double-edged sword for us who already deal with this and related illnesses. It's horrendous and wouldn't wish it on anyone. However, we're finally getting research done and doctors actually believe we're ill now. That is something that, I mean, we've spoken to between us before, Zoe, and I get it. And obviously people who are clinically vulnerable, we've spoke about on here before. Do you remember when I first like came back online after like the worst of the long COVID, and I was like offline for about a year, which was about the time where I was like completely and utterly fucked, and I like was advised that like stress was a big trigger for this stuff, and obviously researching this stuff every day and writing about it, and now obviously having the vocal capacity to produce content again. Well, I think it's a blessing, but also I don't take any of this for granted, man. Like I know that any day this could change, but so far so good. I keep turning up every day, and you know, I haven't went backwards yet, not radically. And then if I have, I'll have a sleep and I'll bounce back. And is that normal? I just hope I can trust my body and my mind again one day. Fuck, man. Right. Right, just gathering myself. Give us a minute. Right, let's crack on. Oh, God, this is horrible. This, like... Right, before I show you this is me. These are pictures that were taken over a period of a few months. Fucking hell. Right, look away. Don't watch this if you're fucking squeamish, right? Just look away. I'm going to count it in. 3, 2, 1. This is picture 1. This was in the first week, so this would have been... It kicked in properly. I spewed up all over my shoes on January the 1st, and I thought it was a hangover, and the entire year was written off last year. Or was it last year? Fuck no. Part of it was. I don't even know. This is the thing. Fucking hell. 2020. January the 1st, 2020, I think. No, it was 2021. See, this is the fucking problem, man. Oh, I'm not going to get frustrated. Fuck it. Right, anyway, look away now, right? 3, 2, 1. Right, that's how it started. You can see I had dressings on and that kind of thing. It went all the way from my front to the solar plexus, all the way around the back to my spine. So that was really painful. But it got worse. That's what happens over like sort of weeks and months. And a lot of people will get shingles in like one patch and whatever. But I had it like all over me fucking side, like, and I've left some of the later pictures out where there's like pus running down my side and all this. Shingles, I was told, is meant to last like maybe a few weeks up to a month or something. I didn't have the rash or the scabs or scars for the whole year, but they went away after, I don't know. Oh man, the frustration of this. I'd have to ask my partner, like, to be honest. It was months. I don't know exactly. It's kind of part of it. Right, there's another one. Horrible, innit? So when the hair started growing back in, I was 2 weeks to fucking shave it off. It's all gone now, like, just in case I get shingles, never come back. I've got rid of it. Yeah, so that, horrible, innit? I'll take them off the screen because they're fucking awful. And that wasn't even the worst of it. Like, when it was really bad, I was too, like, ill to be taking pictures and that, and just couldn't. I remember just, like, screaming in the middle of the night with the pain a few times, like, fucking like, there's a few days where I thought I was gonna die, like legit, man. Fucking hell. I'm so blessed to still be alive, you know. Right, I'm getting upset anyway. I was gonna play this fucking shingles video. This is from Canadian TV, and it's like there's more information coming out, and I'm so pleased because fucking nobody believed us, like.
Emerging between COVID-19 infection and the shingles virus. Research published this year shows people 50 and up who've had a mild case of COVID are 15% more likely to develop shingles within 6 months. The likelihood increases for people who have had more severe infection. Joining me with more on this is emergency physician Dr. Kashif Pirzada. Doctor, nice to talk to you today.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Is there a connection between shingles and COVID?
There is actually. That study you mentioned, after 6 months after your infection, you're 15 to 20% more likely to get shingles. Think about what shingles is that it's the chickenpox virus that you had as a kid. It never fully leaves your body. Your immune system is keeping it in check, like a tug of war. If you have a big shock to your immune system, like a COVID infection, or if you're not sleeping, you're not eating well, maybe you're on a concert tour or something like that, then it could flare up and cause shingles.
Yeah, I instinctively just touched my face because I still have a scar because I had shingles in university, and it is not a pleasant experience. It can be very painful. So here's the thing. If you're over the age of 50, you've been infected with COVID-19, let's say within the last 6 months, what should you do? Is there anything you could do?
I would get the shingles vaccine. It's a good idea to get to prevent it from flaring up. As you get older, your immune system is going to lose that tug of war with the chickenpox virus already in your body. So it's really recommended for everyone above 50 to get the shingles vaccine, especially in light of what COVID seems to do to us.
Can you get the vaccine if you're under 50?
I don't think so. I don't think it's available yet. Most kids below 20, 25 have gotten a chickenpox vaccine, so that should help. But it's not yet available. I think maybe it should be. It's something to think about.
It is certainly.
In the future.
Yeah, I know many people who've had shingles who, had it like when I did at early 20s and between 20 and 30. All right, so the same virus that causes shingles also causes Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. You may be familiar, not you, but like our audience may be familiar with that because of, Justin Bieber telling everybody he was diagnosed with that less than 6 months after testing positive for COVID. That was in February. How concerned are you about seeing a potential uptick in cases of Ramsay-Hunt?
I'm worried. It's a very devastating illness to have. It affects your balance, your hearing, your taste, the movements of your face, even closing your eyes. You can't even close your eyes properly. And the recovery is long. Like as long as if you start antivirals early, steroids early, you can have a better course. But the recovery can take months, even a couple of years. So it is very bad if widespread COVID is causing more shingles. It means more people are going to be disabled. It is a big hit to your immune system that you want to avoid.
There have been posts, I'm sure you've seen them circulating on social media, that claim there is a link between COVID-19 vaccine and a reactivation of the shingles virus. Is there any truth to that?
No, not at all. Like they've looked at the numbers of post-vaccine shingles, and the rate is something really low, like 1 in 15 million. Like you do in the 649 a couple of times before you get shingles from the vaccine. If Bieber got his vaccine when people of his age got it in Canada, that would put him around 12 months ago. It's unheard of to get a vaccine reaction that far after your vaccine. It's never happened, basically.
Dr. Pirzada, we appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I'm all right. 3 minutes long on it. So I managed to bury it deep inside, like the Geordie males of old, and embrace toxic masculinity. Nah, I had a good old cry, but it finished. Yeah, this is all like, I'm experiencing this on the fly because I think, like, in all seriousness, a lot of this stuff I have had to just bury it because I've got shit to do and things I need to get on with, and I've just had so much of my life taken from us by illness. I fucking can't. I just can't. I've got, where I'm at now is I'm trying to balance progressing cow daily with me health, and that's why I pulled out of a meeting in AGM tonight. An important thing. So I'm not 100% well yet, am I? Because if I was, I should have no problem doing this, having a bit of a break and then going and doing that. But one of the good things is I know the signs, like, and that's a blessing, like, because I've been through this, so I can feel when it's coming up. And if anybody's new to this game, contact us. My inbox is always open. Mate, I'll do anything I can to help you because we're not going to get help from the fucking government, are we? Anyway, during this time where I was really ill, all this shit was in the media, which was kind of stressful, like Daily Mail. Boris, let the bodies pile high in their thousands. PMs and Century remark during fight over lockdowns and latest claim. Fucking shut up, man. So you can, as you can probably tell, I was like saying this shit, and I was like, people have went mad. This is fucking desperately real, and this fucking daft, he's talking about all this. Mad, innit? So, what else? Right, so there's just a bit more information. This is West Auckland University, and I'm kind of trebling up on this because it really felt at the time like nobody wanted to believe that like COVID could trigger off any of this, because shingles is just one of the many things it can trigger in people. When I got it, I was like in my early 40s. It's like earlier than you're supposed to. Anyway, it's saying here, if you've recently had COVID, look out for shingles. Can having COVID trigger shingles? Yes, probably, according to Associate Professor Helen Petusius-Harris. And you might want to think about the shingles vaccine. I do, but it costs 250 quid and I can't afford it yet, sadly. Fuck me. As soon as I can, though, I'll be getting the bastard. Trust me, you do not want this. So another one from Healthline. Can a COVID-19 vaccine increase your risk of shingles? Right. I say this directly to people who are in full fucking denial, right? I got this before the vaccine was available. There you go. Shingles first, vaccine happened after. I had the vaccine and then I started getting better. Well, I was already getting better, but then there was this period of like health where it would grow and get better. And I'm not saying it's linked to the vaccine. I think that there should be an open and honest debate about all things. Nothing has changed, and I apologize. Not that it's my fault that people feel shut down, and that shouldn't be happening, and there should be a debate about it. But it should be based on evidence, right? And I get like mine's one case and it's anecdotal, but it wasn't down to the fucking vaccine. But the amount of research that I've done and seen, even just today, on like historical social media posts where people are like, yes, this is all down to the vaccine. Shut the fuck up. How about that? Sick of hearing your shit, man. Like, sick of hearing it. Do some research, man. Like, it's well clear that the shingles uptick started before vaccines were available. Right, there you go, done. Do your research. Ironically, that's what you're saying to us. Yeah. Right. One of the things I want to leave it on, and you can call this a humble brag if you like, I don't care. I hit me weight loss goal, and one of the things that I've done when all of this happened, I wasn't the weight that I started off at. The weight I started off at was 221 pounds, which I think is around about 16 stone, about 100 kilos, because it was when I got near 100 kilos that I was like, fuck this. So I looked into it, and obviously, you know, something to say. If you're happy and you're healthy, whatever size, shape you are, I fucking celebrate that, man. But personally, I was not. I put on a lot of weight after I had the spinal surgery, and it just kept going up and up. And it probably did lead to a bad health outcome, because if I was healthier studies show that it does help. It can help with a lot of illness as it goes. But strap yourself in, humble brag. It doesn't actually show 221 pounds here. I started losing weight, and then I found this weight loss app. So I started it off at, what was it, 200.4 pounds. As of Saturday, I weigh 169.8 pounds. So I have lost 50.6 pounds. I've reset it actually because I want to go to 165. So I've got 4.8 to lose because I'm just going to keep going. I feel a bit healthier and I feel like I could lose a bit more. This is helping us get back into me training and all of that good stuff that I'm trying to get back from before me op and get me health and fitness back. And it's working, man. It's working. So you know what it is? Fuck if anybody thinks I'm bragging. I fucking deserve it, mate, because I tell you what, I'm so proud of myself. I've took action. I've given up alcohol as well. I had two small cans at my partner's sister's birthday in Holland in the summer. And then I was like, I don't even want this. And then I just stopped drinking. So yeah. It's also helped us realize a lot of things about like alcohol and social anxiety and that, but that's for another day. I'm not 100% healthy, but I'm far healthier, and I'm starting to feel like I can trust my body. And the weight loss is part of it. I don't know what to tell you, really. It's a work in progress, but I wanted to share this all with you today because like I've never really talked about it at once, and I realized like how upsetting this is, and it fucking sucks. But the North will indeed rise again. Trust me on that. It won't be for the one to try, and I'm doing absolutely everything I possibly can. And if you are in the shit, inbox is open. Get in touch with us, man. Don't feel alone. We've got to pull it fucking together here on everything, on every level and in every aspect. So if it's a case of I can share some stuff of what I did with you, get in touch. Please get in touch. I'm begging you to get in touch. Do you know what I mean? It's not one of them weird, like, oh, get in touch and then you get mugged off. I want to help. I want to help. I don't want anybody to feel like I've felt at all, ever. Don't feel alone, man. So anyway, a few comments before we get up. Yeah. Right. So let's have a look. Bloody StreamYard's all over the place again. Right. It's a lot of it's you having a conversation, which is totally cool. But it's hard for me to pull out any of the things. Edwina, hey, that's great. Alcohol is not necessary to have a good time. Do it if you want. Leave it. That's better. I prefer weed as well, to be honest with you. I don't even really smoke. I prefer hash, actually, to be completely clear. But it's illegal. So there's a lot of it I wouldn't even touch in the UK because it's sprayed with a load of shit. So, mostly straight edge when I'm in the UK, at least. So anyway, Steve's saying, nice to see you, mate. Good work on the weight loss. I started the 5-2 diet in May, and you may recommend Dr. Berg, which was also informative. Lost 5 inches off my gut, and I'm still going. Feel better, and I've noticed health benefits. Steve, I did intermittent fasting because I knew I couldn't train because I was too heavy, and it was like knacking up my back, and it was really like jarring my spine, and it was pretty dangerous. I felt like it felt really. So I did 16/8 intermittent fasting. I'm on now because I'm like as far into it as I am, and I wouldn't recommend anybody starts this without taking medical advice, particularly if you've got existing health conditions. But intermittent fasting was a game changer because I couldn't train it away because I was too heavy and too unhealthy. So it's not just the weight loss with intermittent fasting; it's helped with the brain fog. It's helped with so many different things. If you want, I'll do a whole video on intermittent fasting, but there's loads out there, so you probably don't need me to do it. And there's people infinitely more qualified, like Dr. Berg, Dr. Jason Fung from the University of Toronto, who's a field leader in it. If you want to know more, check it out. Jacqueline is saying she has blood issues and she doesn't drink anything when I go out. Don't blame you, mate. Shelley was saying I was getting in touch with brain fog kicked in. Get in touch again, mate. Thanks everybody for being here and listening today, and I hope it's been helpful. But you know what? I've done this for myself, and I hope it helps people too. But I needed to get this off my fucking chest, like. It was horrible. It's never nice to feel like you were going to die. And there's been quite more than anybody should feel in the last sort of 5 years, physically at least. And I was suicidal, and that was shit. And it was shit for people who love us and are in my life. And yeah. Anyway, right. Please comment, rate, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Let's do something I can say and try and get away from all of the upset and the tears and that. So anyway, patreon.com/cowdaily. That's patreon.com/cowdaily. If you'd like to support my work, there's also early access to podcasts. There's access to the private forum, all that good stuff. And also you get help with keep the lights on and do this every day. So please do. Also, if you want to make a one-off donation, links in the description for PayPal, which you can do there. Thanks, everybody. Much love to every single one of you as ever. Please do have an absolutely fantastic day. And if I can be of service in any way to people going through the shit, inbox is always open, or milkthecowpodcast@gmail.com. Much love. See you later.